Real estate investors, there's a brand new product available now on market that you're going to want to know about. It changes everything. We're talking about no income verification. The DSCR ratio is optional, and even second position HELOCs that allow you to tap into your equity while leaving your low interest first lien alone. So in this video, I'm going to break down what a HELOC actually is, why it's so powerful for investors, and go into a little bit more of the details on these two HELOC features that you definitely need to know about. All right, so what actually is a HELOC? A HELOC is a home equity line of credit. It is secured by your piece of real estate, and it allows you to tap into that equity of the home much in the same way that a credit card is used. So it's a revolving line of credit. It's not a one-time loan. You can draw funds, you can pay funds back, and then reuse those funds after they're paid back. And then, traditional HELOCs were built for homeowners, but there is this small little niche of investor-focused HELOCs that can open the door for you and create some strategic leverage. So why are HELOCs so powerful for investors? Well, instead of doing a full refinance and losing potentially a low interest rate that you currently have on your mortgage, you can pull cash from the equity while keeping that first loan in place. And now that cash can help fund, well, maybe your new flip project. It can help fund the down payment on your next investment property purchase. You can use it as a bridge loan or perhaps even some other short-term opportunities that exist in the real estate environment. And overall, really it's general liquidity for your business. You can do, for the most part, whatever you want with these funds. And the best part is HELOCs are oftentimes a much quicker refinance process than maybe what you're used to. And the approvals are generally simpler, and you're not going to be required to submit as much documentation as with a normal conventional loan. These specific investor-focused HELOCs are designed with investors in mind. All right, so let's break these both down. So we have the first type of HELOC, which is a first lien position HELOC. Now this one is DSCR based, meaning with your debt service coverage ratio, if your market rents coming in monthly on that property exceed what the completely tapped out payment of your HELOC would be, well then that's an approval for you. Now this is ideal for really two types of properties. It's ideal if you have a fully paid off property, number one, or if you have an existing lien on an investment property and that interest rate, maybe it's not super low, maybe you can give or take it based on where the current market rates are, that would be the other option here. Now, while the approval is based on the property's ability to cash flow, the kicker here is that the property does not have to cash flow exactly to the point where you're making money every month, okay? You can have a lower DSCR ratio where you're negative cash flow, and even in some cases, no ratio whatsoever, and still get approved for this first lien HELOC. Now, this is a massive advantage if the use of your property is maybe different than a long-term rental, if you have some vacancies lately, or there's just a really long turnover, if you've been doing a lot of work on the property since your last lease ended, and you don't have a lot of market data to support what you're able to pull in on that property, this could be huge. So there's no tax returns, no W-2s required, and there's no personal DTI calculations here. Some of the more recent deals where I've done HELOCs just like this involve investors that are going out and finding really deeply discounted properties on the market for either their next flip project or for their next rental, or both. I have another client that buys Airbnb or short-term rental properties. This is a great product for them. And for the old BRRRR strategy, which BRRRR stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. I think I got the R's right there. So when people want to pull out cash and refinance after they've acquired the property, after they've done the remodeling, this loan could be a great product for that, to keep the HELOC feature intact where they can pay down the funds and add funds back in and pay down the funds and add funds back, rather than just going out and getting a refinance and being stuck for potentially 30 years with that same payment. Now here's a few bullet points on this first lien HELOC so you have a kind of a basic idea on what to expect here. So the loan amounts are going to be anywhere from $50,000 on the minimum up to $750,000. Now the minimum FICO score is 700, but the terms get a little bit more favorable at 720 and up. Now the property types allowed, You can do a single family home. Obviously, you can do a 2-unit to 4-unit. Warrantable condos are allowed, and PUDs, which is just a planned urban development single family home, or a home that's in a master planned community where you have, pools and recreation centers and playgrounds and things like that. Now, the loan to value limits, so the total amount of the value of the home that you can borrow, is capped at 75% on this one. The interest rate range, now the interest rate is going to be based off the Wall Street Journal publicated prime rate, and then there's also going to be a margin in there as well. So it's hard to dictate what the interest rate would be for you, but check with your lender on this because they'll have the data and they'll likely be able to pull up the rate sheets real time for you to dictate what the interest rates would look like. Now, as far as how long these loans last, so the draw period here is going to be 3 years, and the draw period is where the HELOC functions like a credit card with your real estate attached, where you can pull out funds, you can pay them back, and so on and so forth. That's about 3 years, okay? After the 3-year period, the remainder of that 30 years, so the next 27 years, it will turn into a fully amortized loan with a fixed payment based on whatever the balance is at the end of the draw period. And by the way, the first 3 years, that will be interest only. So if you're gonna choose to keep paying down the balance, don't make your minimum payments, pay a lot more. Hey, thanks so much for sticking around. I really hope you're enjoying the video. If you are enjoying it, please drop a like, please subscribe. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. All right, now let's break down the second loan product here, the second HELOC. Now, this is truly a second lien, okay? So this assumes that you're gonna have a first lien in position, whatever the interest rate is and whatever the balance is. So you have to factor that in when looking at your total loan to value or what you can borrow off the home's value. That will help you calculate how much of a HELOC you can add on top of your existing lien. And this is perfect for investors that have a first mortgage that they do not want to touch. Now, the qualifications here, these are based on bank statements. So you don't need tax returns, you don't need W-2s. This is extremely helpful for investors, and a lot of us are self-employed, and it is amazing for asset-rich investors as well. So the benefit here is you can keep that first lower interest rate mortgage in place and still tap into some of that equity in the home to leverage for future projects, for business capital, for whatever you might need it for. Investors that are scaling fast, down payment on new deals, like I mentioned earlier, and obviously rehab budgets, whether it's for that specific property or it's for other properties. Lastly, this is just a great way to have an emergency funding resource available. Even if you don't use a dime, it's still great to have in place. We have several HELOCs ourselves. So here's a few bullet points on the bank statement HELOC program that is in second lien position. So you're gonna have a 12 or 24 month bank statement requirement. You can either do 1 year or 2 years. And these can be done with either business bank statements or with personal bank statements. Now, they are gonna look for a minimum amount of deposit activity. There are some DTI factors here, and generally the DTI factor there is 50%. You're gonna need to have spent at least 2 years as a self-employed business owner. So we have to make sure we have 2 years of history showing that you've been in business. Now, the maximum LTV for this second lien bank statement HELOC is going to be 80%. And that's generally the norm for investor properties or non-owner occupied properties. Now, as far as the draw term and then the fully amortized loan term, so you'll have 3 years in the draw, or you could go 5 years on the draw period. And then after that period, for the remainder of the term, it will go fully amortized. The cool part here, though, is that we don't have just a 30-year option. There's also a 25-year, a 20-year, and even a 15-year option. So if you opted for a 5-year draw period and you wanted a 15-year loan, you'll draw for 5 years. Whatever the balance is at the end of the 5 years will convert and fully amortize over into a fixed loan for the last 10 years of that 15-year term. Now, this one does have a prepayment feature. Okay, so if you pull this HELOC out and you pay it off anytime in the first 12 months, they could charge you up to 5% of the total credit line as a penalty. So you have to watch out for that. And when you discuss this with your lender of choice, make sure you ask that question. Now, so which of these product types is best for you? Well, it's pretty simple. If you have a paid off free and clear property, I think the first option is much better. Or if the loan that you have on that property, the interest rate's not great, again, that first lien DSCR option is amazing. And also, if your property does cash flow, while you could still get an approval without a ratio, having a ratio of 1 or higher we'll get you a little bit better terms and better rate. Now, you could definitely use type 2 in these instances, and those would be that you've got a low interest rate mortgage in first lien position and you don't want to touch it. And if you're self-employed, if you write off a lot of your income because you're a smart business owner, or maybe you need cash but you don't want to refinance, then I think option 2 is the better way to go. Now, either way here, you're tapping into that equity and using it as a tool to leverage yourself more wealth. Whether it's something that you put these funds into a flip project and you're able to convert that cash and make 20 or 25 or 30% or greater on your flip project, pay off your HELOC and then use that profit, roll it into the next deal. Or whether you're using those funds as a down payment on a cash flowing property and you're gonna cash flow $5, $6, $8, maybe $1,000 per month the second that you close, and now you can use some of that cash flow coming in to pay down that HELOC. Either way, you're tapping into this equity with this tool. And this is what wealthy investors do. Now, if you want to find out which of these HELOC options would be good for you, let's talk. I'll walk you through which of these loan types would be best given your scenario, given your exit plan, and all your financials. Just drop a comment below or catch up with me on a discovery call using the link below in the comments. And I look forward to discussing your HELOC needs, and I'm here to help any way I can. I want you guys to win. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you want weekly breakdowns on creative financing, on mortgage tips and tricks, and then extended investment strategies surrounding wealth creation using mortgages. It would be great to have you, and thanks again. And I hope to see you in the next video.